Hello, everyone. So I know that this presentation is on a long weekend, so there might not be people who have joined this meeting, but I will be open to any questions after this recording if anyone has any in the discussion down below. But hello, my name is Monica, and this is probably my sixth BCIT course in the Provincial Instructor Diploma. And I previously taught coding at BCIT, but now I work as a developer at another company, and I'm working on completing my Provincial Instructor Diploma because I might return into teaching later in the future. And given my teaching experience and my observations of students' behavior in the classroom, I can provide some insight as to um, what triggers anxiety for students and how to support them through these challenges. And additionally, I'll share some of my findings on anxiety and the brain. And here's a little overview of what I'm going to be going over. I'm going to be going over what is anxiety and how is it shown in students in the class, and what are some of the common signs that students are going through anxiety, and how does anxiety start in the brain, what causes or triggers anxiety, what are the pros and cons of anxiety, how you can manage anxiety, and then the conclusion at the end. So let's go through the first topic here. So what is anxiety and how's it shown to students in the class? So anxiety is a natural emotional response to stress. It's closely related to fear, as mentioned by Gunter. And anxiety arises in situations where we perceive potential threats or challenges in the classroom. In a classroom setting, this can manifest in various ways. So students often face stress from quizzes, tests, and even daily participation. And the fear of not performing well or being put on the spot can create significant anxiety. For some students, the mere thought of participating in class or being called upon by the teacher can be overwhelming and leading them to avoid eye contact or remain silent to avoid drawing attention. And Ladeau and Pine explained that anxiety reflects an awareness of potential harm. So it's influenced by our brain's interpretation of signals from our body and external environments. For for students, for example, who are struggling with public speaking or presentations, the classroom can feel like a threatening place. And the fear of making mistakes or being embarrassed can trigger anxiety as the brain perceives these situations as potentially harmful. And these heightened sense of threats can make classroom activities seem intimidating and more intimidating than it actually is. And from personal experience, I've noticed that my own anxiety peaks when I'm uncertain about an answer in class. The worry about being called on and not knowing the answer creates a strong sense of pressure. This often is exacerbated by the fear of peer judgment and how others will perceive my lack of knowledge. And these kinds of stress is a common reaction and is often tied to a form of peer pressure that can significantly contribute to anxiety. And anxiety can be categorized into different types. There's the normal anxiety. It is a response to specific stressors and is considered appropriate when it motivates us to prepare for challenges such as an exam or work deadline. And this type of anxiety can be beneficial as it drives us to take action and address stressors. It's a natural part of dealing with uncertain situations and helps us stay alert and focused. However, when anxiety becomes persistent and overwhelming, it can have negative effects, and prolonged exposure to high levels of anxiety activates the body's stress and response system and leads to release of stress hormones. As MediCircle and Dr. Romani noted, um, this can be detrimental to both the physical and mental health. For students, chronic anxiety can result in severe consequences such as poor eating habits, lack of sleep, and overall physical and psychological awareness. And I've experienced this firsthand. Despite the initial motivation anxiety can provide, it can also lead to negative outcomes like skipping meals and experiencing significant stress. A common anxiety that happens to students in class is test anxiety. It's been identified as an emotional feeling which can be individual experience as a result of their own doubt or his or her own potential. This is something I definitely have a problem with because I am a slow learner and I want to do well on tests. This is also why I like studying at school because it forces me to study something in a specific time frame. So, how does anxiety start in the brain? Severe anxiety, it's normal. Um, severe anxiety isn't a normal is severe anxiety isn't a moral or a personal failing, it is a health problem. As noted by Dr. Jen Gunter, many students struggle to understand or manage their anxiety effectively, and it is crucial for teachers to recognize and differentiate levels of anxiety among students. Teachers should be aware of how to communicate effectively with students based on their individual personalities and needs. Additionally, teachers teachers can recommend counseling and other health services available through the school to support students as needed. Anxiety is a response to more uncertain threats that tend to last much longer. It's all part of the threat detection system. This system is present in all animals and it begins with the amygdala. It's a key brain structure involving the process of emotions. The amygdala activates other parts of the brain, including the hypothalamus, when which then triggers the body stress response. The response includes physical symptoms like racing heart, sweating, tense muscles, and putting the individual at high alert. The PDF, the PDF I found about rewiring your anxious brain, it explains that if you dwell on certain thoughts and images in your cortex, you're likely to activate the amygdala and create anxiety. This means that our thoughts and the way we interpret them can directly impact the activation that activation of the amygdala, further exacerbating feelings of anxiety. The amygdala is an almond-shaped structure. It's located near the base of the brain, and it mediates many aspects of emotion and memory. One of the primary roles of the amygdala is the formation of storage of memory associated with emotional events, a process known as emotional learning. And it's useful to remember that the language of the amygdala is based on associations with sound, smell, structure, or places. This means that the amygdala helps us remember and react to emotional experiences based on these sensory inputs. In summary, overall, the anxiety starts at the brain through the complex interaction of various structures and processes. Understanding this can help manage anxiety more effectively by recognizing how the amygdala and other brain areas contribute to anxiety, both individuals and educators, how they can better support those struggles with this condition. So, what causes or triggers the anxiety in the classroom? So, understanding what triggers anxiety is crucial for both identifying and managing it effectively. A recent study highlights that specific components of socioeconomic status, namely lower parental occupation, prestige, or associated with delaying brain aging and increased anxiety or depression symptomology in youth, increased anxiety, depression, symptomology in youth. This suggests that the environment in which the person grows up significantly impacts their It significantly impacts their susceptibility to anxiety and depression later in life, and students with lower socioeconomic backgrounds may experience different anxiety triggers compared to the peers, potentially affecting their academic performance. These environmental factors influence how students respond to anxiety triggers in the classroom. But individual coping mechanisms, social interactions, and support provided by teachers also play a crucial role in managing these challenges. Social anxiety is particularly common in triggers for anxiety. So, research shows that the social anxiety disorder, also known as SAD, is also called social phobia. It is one of those most common psychiatric illnesses with 15% lifetime prevalence. SAD is characterized by the fear of negative evaluation and tendency to avoid social interaction due to concerns of embarrassment. A subtype of SAD is known as TKS, also involves a fear of embarrassment of others, fear of embarrassing others. This indicates the anxiety can manifest from various forms, whether it's due to personal fear or embarrassment or concern for causing embarrassment to others. Anxiety can involve negative automatic thoughts when we are feeling anxious, depressed, angry, or frustrated. So these negative thoughts can become overwhelming, especially for students who are navigating new academic and social environments. As students transition from high school to university or from adolescence to adulthood, they face numerous challenges that can significantly impact their anxiety levels. These processes of adapting to new skills, responsibilities, and social expectations can create substantial amount of stress and anxiety, affecting the overall performance in schools. In summary, anxiety triggers can stem from a range of factors, including socioeconomic status, social interactions, and internal negative thoughts. Understanding these triggers helps in developing strategies to manage anxiety more effectively for students, and the transition to new stages in life and academic settings can exacerbate anxiety, making it important for educators, parents, and students themselves to recognize and address these triggers to support better mental health and academic success. So, what are what are the pros of anxiety? So, the pros of anxiety can be informative. And so anxiety can serve as an important signal that something in your life needs to change. It's noted by STAR that it often indicates an aspect of your career, education, or personal life that's not on track and needs to be adjusted. This awareness can prompt necessary change and improvement. And also, anxiety can help motivate you. Anxiety can drive you to achieve your goals by keeping you alert and focused. And according to STAR, anxiety releases dopamine, which can help enhance motivation. So, for example, I find that studying part time while working keeps me engaged and growing. Although learning a new skill like coding language can be intimidating and is also exciting and motivating to explore new possibilities. Anxiety can be a built-in warning system as well. So anxiety functions as a built-in warning system that triggers a flight response. It helps to protect us from danger. So STAR explains that it is the response. The response is crucial for our long-term safety, alerting us to potential threats and keeping us vigilant. Anxiety can foster greater empathy, so individuals with anxiety often develop a high level of empathy because they understand what they are experiencing. As Starr points out, this heightened sensitivity allows them to connect more deeply with others and offer better support. Anxiety can also help you make you a better leader. Anxiety can enhance leadership qualities by making individuals more aware of potential outcomes and cautious in other decision making. Starr suggests that the heightened awareness benefits teachers and students alike, helping them navigate challenges effectively and supporting their teams. Some of the cons of anxiety in the classroom can be inability to control the scope of anxiety, inability to control or the physical symptoms that interfere with daily functions, avoiding of anxiety-inducing situations that can impair functionality, feeling of distress, difficulty focusing or concentrating, persistent feeling of impending doom, sleep disturbances, or panic attacks. So, excessive anxiety can also impact cognitive functions. It leads to memory, concentration, and cognitive function decline, which can contribute to poor academic performance. I personally agree with this observation. During my time as a student, I experienced significant anxiety that often hindered my ability to think clearly and concentrate on the material. I was preoccupied with the concerns of my performance and how it might affect others. which made it challenging to focus on studying. So, reflecting on my experience, I found that anxiety was more beneficial when it motivated me to achieve my goals. However, in toxic work environments, anxiety became more detrimental. Such environments can exacerbate anxiety due to poor treatment and fear of your career prospects. In these situations, the anxiety uh, triggered by the environment often overshadowed the positive effects. Overall, with while anxiety has its benefits, such as providing important warning or motivating actions and fostering empathy, it can also have some significant drawbacks, and these include interference with cognitive functions, physical symptoms, and distress. Balancing the positive and negative aspects of anxiety is crucial for managing its impact on personal and academic life. How can you manage so let's see, how can you manage anxiety now in the classroom? So managing anxiety involves different types of strategies that can help reduce anxiety. One effective method for managing anxiety is you could there's cognitive behavioral therapy, and according to Shambles and Olendick, generalized anxiety disorder, cognitive behavior therapy, relaxation therapy are the most effective techniques for addressing anxiety disorders. And CBT is a psychological treatment designed to help individuals by changing their thinking pattern. It involves a reevaluating of how people think and understand their behaviors and motivations, and problem solving to build self confidence. This approach will help individuals develop better understanding of their anxiety and equip them with tools to manage more effectively. Another key aspect of managing anxiety is through cognitive therapy. As noted by Emerson, cognitive therapy involves responding to and modifying our thoughts. You help us to help us cope better in our daily lives and feel less anxious. By by better practicing different thought patterns, individuals can rewire their brain to adopt more realistic and positive thoughts. This cognitive restructuring helps mitigate the anxiety triggers by gradually shifting the negative thought patterns to more constructive ones. In the PDF I found on rewiring your anxious brain, it mentions that cognitive restructuring is highlighted as a technique where the thoughts you think are used to rewire your brain. This technique is especially relevant for students who may feel anxious in the classroom and requires time and effort, but with consistent practice, students can oversee their anxiety by changing their thought process. Additionally, CBT treatment often involves changing behavior patterns according to this article I found in Psychology. CBT treatments are usually involved in efforts of changing behavioral patterns, and this can include facing fears, role playing to prepare for certain interactions, and learning relaxation techniques. Both teachers and students can benefit from these methods to reduce the anxiety in the classroom setting. To manage anxiety effectively, we consider these practical strategies from how to cope with anxiety at university. So there could be some deep breathing exercises, maybe reaching out and talking to someone you trust, challenge and reframing negative thoughts, avoid falling into avoidance trap, and plan ahead to manage potential stressors, take regular breaks and reduce stress, prioritizing self-care and overall well-being. Incorporating these techniques can help manage anxiety and improve overall mental health. So, in conclusion, the college students' experience in a period of time is a profound transition, facing a number of changes simultaneously. They adapt to new schedules, heavy loads of coursework, life with roommates, new cultures, and alternative ways of thinking. They're meeting new friends, figuring out how to fit in, developing an independent identity, and handling adult responsibilities. As they progress towards graduation and beyond, These challenges persist as they seek to chart their futures and make informed decisions. This transitional phase underscores the critical need for effective support systems and self care strategies to manage anxiety and navigate its transformative period successfully. These complexities of these changes can be compounded by concerns by self confidence and social acceptance. According to research by Meek, Peak, and Durius, between students and faculty and staff, students were more likely to report that they would feel less intelligent or capable, and they worry that their peers will stop inviting them to social events, which suggests that students tend to perceive greater association between their need for mental health care and self confidence and social confidence. These insights highlight the interplay between mental health and needs for perceptions of self worth and social belonging. It further emphasized the need for comprehensive support during this pivotal time. And here are the list of my references. I have found 15 different references that I have cited throughout this entire presentation, and it will be in the report as well. Um, and of course, because nobody has joined this recording, I will make sure that I check any comments in the comment section, and I will be happy to reply to any of your questions that you may have. Thank you.